the alpha widow thing?
Yeah.
Like
For those who don't know, can you explain to us?
An alpha widow is basically, you got a girl, right?
Yeah.
She dates this one guy in college. That was the best dude she could do. Or, in high school. It could be Katy Perry's high school sweetheart.
When you say the best, quantify what the best looks like.
So the best is like what that girl values. So maybe she values like money. Mm-hmm. Maybe she values ambition, muscle, like whatever she, in like church communities, it's like church status. Like it just.
Yeah.
So like this is the best guy I could reproduce with. And she fumbles bag.
Right.
And then she like can't get over him. So, and you hear it in like pop music all the time, like the one that got away, the one that wrecked my heart.
Right.
I should have never. Yeah, you know, like.
Give me them bars. All right, come on.
Yeah. But you see, that's like there's so many songs. If you listen to female music, it's like all different versions of alpha widows, like pretty much.
Okay.
Like
so
if you really listen to the lyrics and like the most popular ones. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Yeah. So I was gonna say just for clarification, a quote unquote alpha widow is a girl who's dated maybe a guy who was her top choice, and then things didn't go the way she wanted, and now every guy she now dates, she compares to him and no one matches up.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So.
Hey guys, this is Eddie, the African Red Pill. Welcome to the video. It's a continuation of the Alpha Widow series. So this is part 2 of the Alpha Widow series. What is an Alpha Widow? An Alpha Widow is a woman who's still stuck up over her ex. It might not be her ex, but that one guy she had or thought she could have who got away and is still stuck up in her mind, where she compares every guy she dates. If none of the guys gets to surpass that other guy, the one she's stuck up over, it means she's an alpha widow.
Basically, there was this girl in college. Oh god, I think you've heard this story before, right?
Maybe tell us anyway.
Yeah. So she, when I heard like what an alpha widow was, she was who I thought of because she dated this dude freshman year. Freshman year guy he wasn't really the job type. He wasn't, but he was, I guess. Smooth, I don't know, good looking guy, I don't know, okay. I don't know. Anyways, not my thing, but yeah. And they dated for like a month because then he cheated. I was like a month.
You don't look surprised.
Yeah, because like she wasn't special. He was doing that with, like he was kind of like streeting. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Streeting.
But then if he said he was gonna be exclusive, if he said he was going to be exclusive.
I wasn't there. I transferred into this school. Right. So I wasn't even there when they dated. I just know that's what everyone said they did. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Senior year, she's dating a new guy. He buys her house. Yeah, wow. Like they move into a nice big house together. I guess I don't know who bought it. I just assumed he did. She very well could have. I don't know, but I think he did. And I went to a party my senior year, and it was crazy because I was in the basement of the party, and this girl tried to gaslight me too. Like I didn't see this, but you will not gaslight me. I saw this with my own eyes. She walks out of the bathroom with the dude from freshman year.
Oh.
And like everyone was waiting to go to the bathroom, and like that's what I was waiting for, and I'm like, God, this is taking forever. And then
Wow.
The dude from and then the guy that she was dating currently came to the party like half hour later.
Wow.
But that's the thing, like alpha widows, like it doesn't matter who she's dating, she'll.
But so here's the thing: is that not more? Because I understand the premise of comparing every guy you've met compared to the one you feel got away and not feeling they match up. I get that, but her actually acting on that, is that not more of a reflection of her character as opposed to just being an alpha widow?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're an alpha widow, like you don't have to act on it. Like you can always.
Yeah, but I know females. 90% of them will.
But also, it depends on what it is, because it's like, you could have had the top jock in high school.
Yeah.
Then, when you're in your late 20s, you're looking for something more serious. Then it could be more what you're looking for, the priorities have changed. Do you know what I mean? So then the guy in high school who maybe at the time you felt would have been the one who got away, he actually may not be your top choice now.
Yeah, but it's like the genuine desire though. So she has the genuine desire for the guy from high school, where she looks at the second guy as more of like a provider.
But are we not, so genuine desire, are we just purely talking about the sexual desire?
Partially.
Because I would argue that, so if she's, let's take a girl in her late 20s, she's looking to settle down, right? The guy from high school, he's still really hot and attractive, but let's say he's actually not done that much. She's not going to choose him.
You're right. Like, he has to, like, men must become, women just are loved for who they are, they say. Like, no, like, he has to, girls only stay with a guy that, like, that's a bum for so long, and then.
So can she still have genuine desire for that same guy if he's not?
I don't know, ask the alpha widows.
I'm asking you, you're the girl. You know women.
I mean, I would say, like, she has to feel like the dude she's with is better than the one from before.
Yeah, I think this is, I mean, you asked this question when I was on your podcast, saying, you know, would we rather a guy that you settled for her, or rather that she settled for the guy? And I think, yeah, it's always best if he's her top choice. But then her priorities change over time. So it can be like her top choice at 22.
Well, that's why
28.
Well, yeah, that's why they say that she marries the beta and cheats with the alpha, and then leaves the beta after she's got the kids. So you gotta be careful.
Let's Rolo Tomasi continue on this subject. I hope you watched the first one on this topic. We are generally looking at Rolo Tomasi explaining and expanding on what this topic is about, because Rolo Tomasi coined the term alpha widow, and Rolo Tomasi is practically the godfather of the red pill. So this continuation, the alpha widow, is here. Check it out.
I'm revealing anything different, but what I'm going to say right now is probably going to shake things up a little bit, okay? It's not about the number of guys she has had so much as it is about the guys in her past that have had the alpha impact on her. So that's the numbers game side of it is not so much the numbers as it is the guys who are included in that number. So if a woman has, say, between like, say, 3 and 5 guys in her past. Okay, whatever. We laugh at that all you'd like. But let's just say, for sake of argument, we're going to take round numbers. She's got a low notch count. She's got a low body count. Those numbers, let's say maximum of 5. If one of those 5 guys was the best she could do, it satisfied what's called the hypergamous doubt. And that hypergamous doubt asks one question: is he the best I can do? Could I do better? If that question is answered by one of those 5 guys, that's her alpha widow. It might be even more than that. But the guy who answered that question the best, the guy that's the best sex she ever had, plus the best emotional impact, and I mean like imprinting her for life kind of impact, where she's pining for that guy well into her 30s and maybe even into her 40s. And that's where the fantasization aspect of the alpha widow comes into play. So it's not so much the numbers. Like, now, obviously, if a woman has 10 guys in her past, or 20, or whatever, triple digits, I don't care, that, of course, broadens the pool of guys who might be the alpha, the most alpha impact. Then along comes you at 30 some odd years old, and you think you're going to play by the rules that no one is playing by, and you get quote unquote blindsided right now by the fact that there was a guy in her past who really rocked her world. And I have to explain this to you because it doesn't even matter how long she was with that guy. If you, and I'm going to suggest that you do this, and this is the only time I will ever suggest you go and look at a Katy Perry video, but go and look at the one that got away and listen to the lyrics and watch the video of this. That is the epitome of an alpha widow. And a lot of guys were saying she was writing that about Russell Brand, or like, oh no, it wasn't Russell Brand. It was one of her boyfriends from her high school where she was going to get married and she was showing off her ring. Look at my ring, blah, 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 blah. And she was still pining for the guy who was in her high school because she wanted to in some way get some kind of like lasting revenge or something like that, right? But she's really pining for that guy. She doesn't really want to get married to this dude. She wanted to get with that guy that got away.
I'm I'm gonna give you examples of high-profile people, high-profile women who've been alpha widowed. You've seen Tom Brady, his wife is divorcing him. Do you know who the ex-boyfriend to Tom Brady's wife is? Take a guess. Sure you know. It's effing Leonardo DiCaprio. That woman has been alpha widowed. Let me not go into details about that. Jada Pinkett Smith. That woman has been alpha widowed by, do you know who? You and me know. Who alpha widowed Jada? Of course it's Tupac. Katy Perry. Adele. Rose from the Titanic. She got alpha widowed by the character which Leonardo played. Come to think of it, didn't Leonardo maybe steal or borrow a leaf from that original guy's playbook? I think he did. No wonder he's like this right now. Those are just a few examples. I'm sure you guys will come up with a list of people or high-profile people who've been alpha widowed. There are a lot. Maybe even your current girlfriend is an alpha widow. More especially if you're a beta, back, or a blue-pilled simp. Realize it and plug from the matrix, then you'll be in a better place.
5 minutes of alpha trumps 5 minutes of beta. So bear that in mind. Keep that in mind when you are unplugging from the matrix, when you are going and you're moving from your blue pill conditioning into a red pill awareness. I'm not saying all hope is lost. I'm just saying that those are the facts and you need to consider them. Now, next thing, how do I get past that, Rolo? How do I defeat the alpha widow? I got to fight the ghosts of her past, right? You have to, first of all, assess who that guy was. And then you've got to find some way to be the guy that has the most alpha impact, if that is what you want to do. Whenever I meet guys and they're trying to tell me, how do I fight with the ghosts? My first suggestion is this: do you even want to? Should you bother? If this woman is an alpha widow, bona fide alpha widow, and she can't get over this guy and she can't stop thinking about this guy, and to the point where maybe she's looking him up on Facebook, she's cyber stalking him on Instagram, whatever the social media thing, and it's never been easier for women to do that. If that's the case, then you need to ask yourself this question: is my pursuit, is my wanting to vet her in the first place worthwhile? Because right there, that's the question that's going to probably settle the whole thing for you right there. But let's just say, for sake of argument, if that's something that, if you think she's so high value and so you really want to get with this girl, you really have a connection with her, yada, 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 yada. I'm going to tell you, spin more plates, my friend. But let's say you are bound and determined to get with this one girl and you have to find some way to defeat the ghosts of her past. You have to find out some way to become the guy that rocks her world more than the guy who set the benchmark for it. You've got to be her alpha impact. You have to be such a high value guy, whatever you want to call it, alpha guy. You've got to be the guy that leaves her with such an alpha impression, with such an emotional connection and an imprinting that she forgets about that guy and you become the next guy that she's imprinting on. And I'm using the term imprinting because this is a behavioral psychology term, right? When like baby ducklings are born, and they've done these tests way back in the 70s, right? Where they had this study, or the behavioral psychologist is watching, and the ducklings will imprint on like whoever is going to be their source of survival. Usually it's the mother duck, right? And they follow the duck around and you see them follow along that duck because they've imprinted on that. This is, again, theory. I'm spitballing. You can take this or leave this all as you wish, but it's whatever was the first impression, whatever was the source of security at that time, to the point where the actual researchers became the mother duck, and the little ducks would follow around the researchers instead of the mama duck. Okay. So take that as you want, but it's an imprinting. It's like embedding that mental image of, that's the guy that would have done it for me. He's the one that got away, and women will write hit songs about that guy because that's how significant it is to the female psyche. Remember, optimizing hypergamy, consolidating on the best, highest quality guy, like beyond what she would merit in the first place, is the prime directive of hypergamy. Hypergamy only has a very short window in which it can be optimized. Usually that's the party years. And so if a good opportunity comes up, or if a guy comes into the picture and he leaves her with such an emotional impact that she keeps going back to that, she couldn't lock down, oh my God, I had that, it was right in my hands, the victory or defeat taken from the jaws of victory, right, kind of thing, right? I couldn't lock him down, but I got this guy. He's the consolation prize. And if you watch the Katy Perry video, and also I'm going to also suggest that you watch the very end scene of Titanic. You don't have to watch Titanic. That's not your homework, okay? But the very end scene of Titanic, you can find it on YouTube, where Rose is pining for Jack, who she lost when she was a teenager. And we go, well, it's a romance. Yeah, it is. And the reason why it resonates is because that's how significant the alpha widow is. That's how significant optimizing hypergamy is to a woman's life. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're dealing with a woman who's an alpha widow, or assessing whether or not she is an alpha widow. Because not all women are alpha widows. You might be the guy that came in and rocked her world, right? You might be the guy answering that question. Is he the best that I can do? That's something that I think too many guys don't really keep in mind, especially once they get into a relationship and they think, well, she wouldn't have committed to me if I wasn't the best she could do. No, you're performance based, right? It is the male burden of performance, the challenge of performance, the burden of performance, the whatever of performance, okay? You've got to perform. End of story. I don't care if you think of dancing monkeys or you're jester maxing or any of that other crap, okay? Guess what? You're going to perform. That's what it is to be a man today. You've got to perform, whether it's in business, whether it's in the military, whether it's family, whether it's women, whatever. Your respectability depends on your ability to perform. End of story. Thank you very much.
I totally agree with Flo. That's what an alpha widow is all about. This is part 2. In part 3, we're going to talk about hypergamy and whatever else will come about, which has to do with an alpha widow. Rolo has explained to the core about what an alpha widow is. So let me not prolong this video. This is where I'm going to end this video. If you enjoyed it, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you've got something you're against or you want to contest about, comment on this topic. If you enjoyed it, you can also comment on this topic to support me, because your comment helps to post this video or my videos in the algorithm. Once the videos are posted in the algorithm, it helps with the growth of the channel. Yeah, so this is where I'm gonna end it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.